Good afternoon everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's webinar, the latest in a series of educational webinars presented by the LEAP Client Success team. The aim of these webinars is to improve the way that LEAP users are implementing the features of LEAP in the cloud. My name is Marcus Whittington and I'm a LEAP Client Success Manager for Queensland and Northern New South Wales. Joining me today is Louise Moulton. She's a LEAP Client Success Manager for Victoria and Tasmania. Today's webinar is recommended for those that are new users of LEAP or perhaps have a little knowledge of how to use LEAP so far, and as well as a refresher for those current LEAP users that want to learn more about matter and card management in LEAP. As with all our educational webinars, this webinar will run for approximately 30 minutes and will be conducted in listen-only mode. Feel free to type any questions into the GoToWebinar question feature throughout the duration of today's webinar. Although we may not be able to respond to your question while we are presenting, we will collate all the questions into a frequently asked questions document, which will be sent out to you with a recording of the webinar. We should note here that all our webinars are recorded and made available to you in the LEAP community. Just click on the blue question mark in the top right corner of any LEAP window. Go to the LEAP community and click the webinars link in the top toolbar to access recordings of our previous webinars. In today's webinar, we will be discussing matter and card management in LEAP. We will be looking at searching, creating, and the status of a matter, creating a new matter based on an existing matter, creating a recurring matter, the financial summary and cost estimates of a matter, a new card for a person, an organization, and a supplier, how to add a card for a referrer, searching, sorting, and filtering cards, as well as effective use of multiple cards on a matter. Let's begin by discussing searching, creating, and the status of a matter. When you open LEAP, your matter list is always displayed. If for any reason your matter list is not displayed, or you have too many windows open and can't find it, click Information Matters on the LEAP main menu, or use the shortcut keys, Ctrl-M on your keyboard. You can resize your matter list and minimize it as you would normally in a Windows environment. There are a number of ways that you can search for a matter in your matter list. You can enter your client name, a specific matter number, or a matter status in the Search Matter text box. There are also advanced search functions for you to use by selecting Advanced Search. As you can see, you can search for an exact match of the matter number, client, matter type, instruction date, status, and archive number. Be sure to tick Include Archive Matters if you are unsure whether the matter is archived or not. To search for property address details or title particulars, click on Property Search in the bottom left of the Advanced Matter Search window. Use the Address Details tab of the Property Search window to do a general property search, or you can search via state. Another easy way to search for matters is by grouping and filtering in the top right of the matter list. You can group by status or by client. You can filter by All Current Matters, My Current Matters, Non-Archived, now this list includes your completed matters, as well as Recently Viewed Matters, Matters with Debtors Balance, Matters with Trust Funds, and Matters with Unbilled Funds. To search for your archived matters, go to the Search Matters text box and search Archived, and select Include Archived Matters. Archived matters have been organized this way to optimize speed and use of the matter list. To create a new matter, click New Matter on the toolbar to open the new matter. Then select the matter type by selecting the relevant area of law from the left-hand panel and select the specific matter type. In the right-hand panel, select the state for your matter from the drop-down list and complete the client and other side selections for the selected matter type if relevant. You can add to the detail of the description of the matter. The description will flow through to the tax invoice. Click the Matter Title tab where you can define the subject line for all documents produced for this matter. You can use default subject lines or enter a subject line for letters to clients and letters to all other parties. Make sure you have unticked the Use Default checkbox if you would prefer to write your own subject lines. And then click OK. The new Matter Enter Details window will open on the Matter Details tab. This is a generic window that's mostly applicable for all legal cases. Enter or select information that is relevant to your matter. Fields can be left blank if necessary. Enter and select your matter details. Now, if TBA is displayed in the matter number field, this indicates that automatic sequential file numbering has been enabled, so you don't have to enter a matter number. Once the matter is saved, the matter will be assigned the next available file number. Select the referrer from your card list, and we will show you how to create a referrer card later in this webinar. Enter and select your accounting details for this matter. Enter any notes relating to your client's financial situation in the debtor comment text box. The information you enter here is not seen by your client. For example, you may wish to note if your client has any special billing terms, so Special Billing Terms A may be applicable. Now, only if required, you can manage access to the matter for selected staff members via the Access and Permissions tab. When finished, click OK. The Client Card Details window will then open. Select whether your client is a person or an organization and whether they're also a supplier, and we will discuss these in more detail later in this webinar. Enter your client's name in the table and the relevant details on each of the tabs below the table. In this case, we'll use a pre-set up card, and we'll show you how that works shortly. When you're finished entering your client details, click Save and Close. The Matter window opens. Your matter will be assigned the next available file number if automatic file numbering has been enabled, and it'll be added to your matter list. So we'll close out of this example. And now I'd like to talk to you briefly about the status of your matter. The status of your matter can be archived, complete, in progress, not proceeding, as well as conveyancing status of exchanged, unexchanged, cooling off, settled, contract dated, and conditional. To change the status of a matter, let's open up a matter there under Lube A. And from here, click on the Calendar and Tasks tab. So for a particular listed event, tick the checkbox next to the date you have scheduled. So we might mark the completion date. So we'll go to Details and Correspondence. And we can now see that the matter is now marked as exchanged. So that's a really simple way that you can now change the status of a matter. Now we're going to have a look at creating a new matter based on an existing matter. Well, there are two ways to create a new matter based on an existing matter. You can create a matter based on an existing matter for a different client, and you can create a new matter based on an existing matter for the same client. So for this first example, let's create a new matter based on an existing matter for the same client. And I guess this is important when you've had a client that had a successful matter. So for this one, we'll look at Moran. So Mr. Moran has visited the firm for their divorce matter, and we're so pleased with the way that the law firm conducted themselves that he's returning for business. And this is what law firms is all about. So we're going to right-click on the matter and create a new matter for Mr. John Moran. Now, in this example, we're going to use a conveyancing sale, and we would amend the state as we need to and all those other details, just as we were showing you earlier. And we've created a new matter, and the time saver here is that that seller has imported that Mr. John Moran's card straight away. Whilst we're here, I'll show you another handy trick, particularly useful for that of the conveyancing sale matter. If you right-click on the property table, you can now see that the new property from seller's address is available. So we'll select that. And that's importing the address that is on the client card for Mr. John Moran. So that's another little time saver for you there. And we'll just save and close. Now we're going to look at creating a matter based on an existing matter for a different client, but where the other details are the same. So for instance, what we'll do here is we'll find a relevant matter. We could use that Lube sale again. We'll right click on the matter you wish to duplicate and select new matter based on this matter. On the new matter based on matter window, select the existing data you wish to include in the matter. So make sure to untick the current client and make sure that there's a tick in the checkbox next to the data that you do wish to include. You can tick the Include Critical Dates checkbox if necessary. When you're finished, click Create Matter. From here, you would complete the additional details, the seller's card. We'll insert an existing card for you there. Mr. Holgar, confirm those details and save and close, and you would build the matter as normal. But I guess the real time saver there is that the agent has been the same, a mortgagee in this example is the same, council, water authority, all those cards have come in from the previous build of the matter. So another handy time saver. Now I'd like to discuss with you creating a new master template for a recurring matter. So if you're working on developments or or find yourself where opening a matter and changing a new folder structure or editing the table types as such, or using the same barristers, needing the same fields, well then a recurring matter is a really useful tool moving forward. So let's have a look at how we create the new master template for a recurring matter. You do so by going to Tools and Recurring Matters. That's at the top of the Leap main menu. From here, we'll click on New and we'll create a new recurring matter. And in this instance, we might call this the Family Law Property Settlement Wife. So yeah, we'll do this for the example of the folder structures that you would always want to see in your particular matter. So we'll select the relevant matter type, in this case family, and the property financial settlement. And we're happy with those details there, and we'll click OK. So we're in a drafting or an editing stage of this particular recurring matter. The first thing that we need to do is just adjust the table types to suit this matter. So we can do that by right-clicking on the matter type, edit table types. As you can see on the left-hand side, you've got what's currently there, and on the right a series of suggestions. So we might grab legal aid from the right-hand side and click add. And we've now added that to the tables on the left-hand side, and we'll click OK. So we've now built for our recurring matter template that will always have a table there for legal aid ready to go. The next thing I'd like to show you is a folder structure. So when you click on that little folder pane there, so it'll reveal the navigation pane, and in this column of the folders, we're going to right-click, select New Folder. We might say Court Documents, and we'll select OK. And we can continue to build these folders, so we could even create a folder within a folder. So I might say the initiating application. So we'll click OK there. Okay, so as you can see, you can right-click and create those folders that are relevant to the way that your law firm runs your matter. Now let's embed some documents so they're living in these folders ready to go. So select the folder that you would like them to live in. We've got our court documents there. We'll go to Guides and Precedents on the top tab. Now, of course, Leap knows what matter type we're in, so we're in the property financial settlement, and we're going to select Going to Court. And we might just grab that letter to process server as produced by Lawyers for Lawyers. So you can see that this document, or rather this precedent, is appearing as pending when added to this master template. And when you do come to create your new recurring matter, those documents will be there within their folder structure. And after you've completed your client's information of the wife and husband, etc. and so on, then this will help populate the documents and create a creation date. When you're done, you can save the matter. To create a new matter using a recurring matter template, what you would do is, from your matter list, next to new matter, you use the little arrow drop down and new matter from recurring. Now we'll use the one we just created, the Family Law Property Settlement Acting for Wife. So the matter details screen, which we've seen earlier, so we'll move through that, we'll click OK. And here we have the template that we created for our recurring matter. You can see there that the legal aid has been remembered, that's there, good to go. And also our court documents folder is there, and if we click into there, we can see that our letter is ready to go and pending. So you would just enter any additional data to complete the matter and produce those documents and save the details. And when you've finished all that relevant information, save and close. There's also another little prompt here which can be very useful for those times where you're finding you're making a recurring matter for maybe 100 matters for 100 different clients, but you want all the same folder and document structure that you've created. So this little prompt, once you've finished that first client and that first matter, well, if you were to click yes, it would open the next recurring matter, so you could complete the client's details for client number 2. In this example, we'll click No. Now I'd like to discuss with you the financial summary and cost estimates of a matter. The financial summary of a matter, well, you can get a snapshot of current balances for each area of a matter to assist you in debtor management and the billing process from the Financial Summary tab of an open matter. So in Leap, and we'll open up a matter. We'll use this Collings matter. And if you were to go to the Financial Summary tab, now whilst we're here, I would strongly recommend that you always head to the top right of any of the accounting data and click Refresh or Reload. And that's important because your accounting data is live. So if you are working in a team, you want to make sure you're working with the most current information available. You can quickly and easily go to relevant information concerning the financial status of the matter by clicking the available hyperlinks on the column and section headings. So for example, when you click on the Debtors heading, the hyperlink takes you to Office Accounting and Office Payments and Debtors tab of the matter. For the cost estimates of a matter, well, the cost estimates, they're useful when recording quoted amounts for fees and disbursements. So you can then be notified when a matter has approached its estimated amount. So let me show you how to set up the warning parameters. You do that by going to Tools and Options on the Leap main menu. Then click on General Preferences and head to Accounting. Moving across the right, if you were to select the Estimate Warnings tab, and from here enter an amount or a percentage of when you want to receive a warning for fees and disbursement values. So such as 2,000 or maybe 80% of the matter, and make sure that you click Save. So now you've set up a warning parameter. To set up the cost estimates in a matter, let's head back to a matter and look in the Details and Correspondence tab. Now in the Accounting section of the Matter Details Summary, so we'll open that up. This accounting side, as you can see, we have listed here a fee estimate and a disbursement estimate. We've ticked the check boxes for including tax, which is including the GST component. We've also already selected the Show Estimates warning. And basically, this will now give us a warning and display a warning message when entering a time activity and cost recovery that exceeds the estimated amounts entered. So click OK and save the matter. I'll now pass you over to my colleague Louise, and she's going to discuss with you card management.
Thank you for that, Marcus. As Marcus introduced me before, I am the Client Success Manager for Victoria and Tasmania. So we've looked at how to set up the matter. Let's now go into more detail about setting up a new card for a person, an organisation and a supplier. So first of all, we'll be in Leap and go to our card list. We go to Information, Cards on the Leap main menu, or we can use the Control key shortcut on your keyboard. All your cards will be listed here. There are two types of cards that can be created in Leap: a person card and an organisation card. You can initially create a basic information card for a person and then come back to complete all the relevant details, even if a matter is not yet open for them. Open a new card. By default, the person option is selected. In the table, select the salutation for the person from the drop-down list, and you can see what you can select there. Enter their primary details to complete the table row. Use your Tab key to move to the next cell of the table. And you can enter your emails, and you can see it's going from left to right with using that Tab key. Complete the details for the other sub-tabs if the information is known about the person. Otherwise, like we said before, you can return to it at a later date. In this new card space, we can also add the client's bank account details, accessing it from the toolbar in the top left. And once these details are confirmed for accuracy, click OK. And we can save and close that card. Leap also provides a number of different organisation types for you to enter information about, including business or partnership, company, government department, and also trusts. So let's set one of these cards up now. So open a new card. Click the organisation option to ensure that you have the selections I mentioned earlier. Now, a business or partnership, that refers to organisations such as solicitors and real estate agents. A company refers to an organisation that holds a company title, that is proprietary limited or corporation. Government departments, examples of those would be courts and councils. And a trust refers to the relationship in which a trustee holds the title to a property for the benefit of another, such as a trust estate or trust property. Click the supplier option if the organisation is also a supplier for accounting purposes. Complete the details for the other subtabs if the information is known about that organisation, otherwise you can return later. And here we then click and save close or cancel if that's not what you want. Next, let's have a look at how to add a card for a referrer. The purpose of wanting to keep track of who refers clients to our firm would be to see where our relationships are coming from, and it's a good way to build the community and business relations with people that refer the matters to you. So let's look at Collings back in Leap. Let's open the matter for Collings, and again make sure you're on that Details and Correspondence tab. Click the Matter Details Summary on the Matter window to open the Matter Details pane. And you'll be familiar with us having worked with this one before. In the Referrers section, click on the window icon next to Card. Select your referral from the card list. And we've got Kathy Bishop there, and now we'll have a look at where the work was obtained from. And we can select how the work was obtained and create that referral category from that list. And Kathy has referred our client to us as she has been another client of ours in the past. So now we know how to create new cards. Let's also consider how do we search them, sort them and filter them. There are a number of ways to search and sort your card list. So when we're back in Leap, we can use the search text box on the card list. You can search any part of the card, including short name, full name, suburb, or even card type. You can sort your card list by clicking any table heading to sort in ascending order, and then click again to sort in descending order. And you'll note where the cursor is, there's a small little arrow and it's clicking in the downward direction right now, telling us that we have our card list in descending order. And if we clicked on that again, that changes to ascending order. You can click the filter option to filter your cards. And when we're in here and select Other, we can create a custom filter by ticking the options on the card type list, and they're in alphabetical order: accountants, administrators, and that customises our list for a future selection. So if we wanted a list of accountants to list out, we could do that in the future. And on the side you can see that we've also created a list where ATO is there. If at any time you wish to reset your card list to the default, click the three bars in the top right hand corner and reset your list settings. And it's also in this space that you can access any of the cards that you have deleted, and you see them in red on our screen. So we now know how to create new cards, find existing cards. How do we effectively use them with our matters? Extra people are normally added to one card so that letters relating to a matter can be sent to only one address. This causes problems when creating documents in Leap, as allowances are made for only one person to be on a card, except for conveyancing matters where two people may be added to the one card. Instead of adding multiple people to one card in any matter type, It is better to have individual cards for individual parties so that we can then make use of the client correspondence data table type in a matter. This will then allow you to write to all of your clients at the one address. That is often what they instruct us to do. So we'll go back into Leap and open the Collins matter again. And we want to again make sure that the Details and Correspondence tab is open. And in our matter, we are acting for the defendant, Mr. Joseph Collins, but we now have instructions that we are to add a second defendant to this matter. Have the defendant highlighted, right-click, and select New Defendant. This will bring up a new client card, and we'll start typing those details in. And we've acted for the second defendant before, Dr. Aaron Johnston, so we can select that card to fill. And you can see now that we have our two defendants now on the matter. Now the clients have given us instructions to send all correspondence to them to the one address. First, ensure to include the client correspondence data table type if necessary, and on our matter it is there for us. Double-click on client correspondence in the matter details to open the client correspondent window. All the postal addresses of each client card for the matter are listed. So if you had 4 defendants there, you would see all of them in front of you. Choose the one address where you wish to write to all of your clients and click the adjacent empty text box and select Yes from the list and then click OK. The selected address is displayed next to client correspondence for the matter details for easy reference, so you know the next letter that you do create for your clients is going to populate with that address only. And that saves a lot of time from having to go in and checking. We have come to the end of our topics for this session, and we'll now move on to answering some questions that have been asked during the webinar. I'll now pass back to Marcus, who's going to answer some of your questions and that have been probably the most common. Thank you, Marcus.
All right, thank you, Louise. All right, here we go. Some questions that have come through today include how do I add Owners Corp details? Let's look at that now. So we'll open up Leap. So to add something like Owners Corp details, I strongly recommend using what we call at Leap the Edit Table type. So selecting Matter Type, right-click on Matter Type, and selecting Edit Table Types. So this is how we were adding our legal aid in our recurring matters example today. And something additional that I can show you for this space is in the bottom right-hand corner is the Show All button, and that's revealing all the possible fields that are available, all the possible tables rather, that are available in Leap. So the specific question was the Owners Corp, so we'll do a search for the Owners Corp. We can see it there, and we'll just add that to our list. And once again, you can move around the particular tables that you need to. So we'll select OK. And as you can see, our Owners Corp is now living on the matter, ready to go. The next question we have is well, it's more of a statement. Our card list is a mess. Please help. We have so many duplicates. And I challenge you to, before the Easter weekend, to have a go at going to your information and your cards list. And my challenge to you is to hunt and search for those duplicates. So it's an example that I provide quite often. So I'm going to search now for Richardson. And in Richardson, I have these 2 cards, a duplicate error and a fairly common problem for Leap users, in that someone has created a card for Mr. Ned Richardson, residing in Kenmore, and we also have a Mr. Edward Richardson. And I know that these 2 cards are identical, so what you can do is use the Control key and your left mouse click to select both of them, and then right-click and merge cards. And then for this example, we're going to keep Mr. Ned Richardson, the preferred name, and we'll click OK. And the result is we've now merged those 2 duplicate cards. Another question we have is, how do I change the client's role in a matter? Look, as I best understand this question, I believe you're referring to the role of the client being with regards to, in this instance, the defendant. So to change that role, we'll go into the matter type, and we'll come here onto the right-hand side. So it may be that the client, instead of being a defendant, is in fact an applicant. So we can make that change there, click OK, and we can now see that applicant 1 and 2 have changed away from being defendant. And let me see, we also have, well, there is a question similar to this: how do I add more plaintiffs to a matter? So what you can do for that example, you can go to the plaintiff, or in fact any table that is associated with a card in LEAP, and you can right click on this one. So right click and create a new plaintiff, and then you would add the card or create a card if required. So we might add Mr. John Moran to that one. There we go, and we add a plaintiff. So right click, new plaintiff, and now we have plaintiff 1 and plaintiff 2 in the matter. The last question for today is, how do I print my card list? For this, I would recommend visiting the reports that are available with LEAP. So at the top of the LEAP main menu, select Reports and click Open New Reports window. Now from here, head to the Matters and Clients reports, and I recommend the Client Details report. So run this report and send that to the printer. The advantage of going about it this way is that you can actually also export your reports to either an Excel or a CSV file, for example, giving you more flexibility on how you would like to present your report, and then you would print. So I'll pass you back now to Louise to conclude today's webinar.
Thanks, Marcus. Make sure that you regularly review the What's New section in the LEAP community, and keep an eye out for invitations to our next webinar, and please do register. For content or knowledge-based help, we encourage you to find the answer through our knowledge articles, or turn to the live chat option in the bottom right-hand corner of every LEAP community screen. If you are experiencing a technical issue with LEAP that is not related to the use of the software or understanding of its features, please contact our help desk through the community, or by sending an email to support@leap.com.au with a detailed description of your issue. That's all for today. Thanks for attending today's webinar, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar.